You're denying this police data exists on communication, sexual communication with a child offences being related to anything to do with Snap.
Or at any age, your position is that privacy trumps safety.
Analysis by the NSPCC, which looked at police data for sexual communication with a child offences, ranked Snapchat clearly first among platforms being used. Of 2,111 offences in 2024-25, where the police identified a platform, 40% of those cases were on Snapchat. How on earth is child sexual abuse material being asked from children being groomed to produce child sexual abuse material for offenders? How has that ever been possible on your platform if it takes a safety by design approach?
I'm well aware of the NSPCC's efforts and this research that they do on an annual basis. I would posit that perhaps they are not always looking at Snap as the platform at issue, but the platform that could be implicated in some other way. There are often
You're denying this police data exists on communication, sexual communication with a child offences being related to anything to do with Snap.
I am not denying that. I'm just saying I would like a little more closer examination of the data to make sure that it is in fact what it purports to be.
You're seeming to set out to the committee is that the way that you enforce those community guidelines and that you ensure that the content being served on your platform is both within those guidelines and of course more broadly within the law is much more strongly monitored and enforced in the public side of your app than the private side of the app. Is that fair?
That is very much a hard line for Snapchat. Privacy is very important. The app was built around privacy to really mimic and simulate real life kinds of conversations. But we rely heavily on reporting to us.
I don't want to take too much of the committee's time, but I think this is really important and quite alarming. That is your position, regardless of whether the user is under 16, under 18, or at any age. Your position is that privacy trumps safety.